This is the story of how I lost all of my money and why it was necessary for me to go through this experience. There's a saying that every 7 years we complete a cycle in our life and enter a new one for the next 7 years. Recently, I reflected on my past 7-year cycle, which was the period of age 49 to 56, and I realized something. I realized that an event around age 49 brought about a time in which I had to face my biggest fear in life, the fear of losing my financial security. Let's start from the beginning. I was married. I actually was married twice in my life. Both marriages lasted around 10 years each. I had been financially secure with my husband being the breadwinner and me staying at home taking care of the kids and the household. And even though it was the right decision for my husband and I to separate, all of my life suddenly changed dramatically, and that absolutely frightened me. There was a broken up family unit, the beautiful home that was gone, and there was an uncertain future I wasn't prepared for. I had a part-time job at the time that I would not be able to sustain my life from. So I thought to myself that instead of just spending the money over time, which was in my savings bank account, which was the equivalent of about 2 years of living expenses if I lived reasonably within my means, I should invest and try to multiply that money. So I would not have to worry about finances for the coming years. What I lacked at the time was even an ounce of trust in the universe that there could ever be abundance in my life. In my mind, worst case scenarios were always lurking around the corner. My car could break down and I wouldn't have the money for a new car. I could get terribly sick and not be able to work, or I would not find a job that would pay for all of my living expenses. I imagined ending up in poverty or homelessness eventually, which seemed like an absolute nightmare to me. So I had those fears going around in my head and also voiced those fears to friends. But when those friends encouraged me to trust that all will be fine, I could not hear them. I was just absolutely fearful about the future and seemed to be trapped in that state of mind. That was around the end of 2017, and it just so happened that all of a sudden I stumbled upon YouTube videos about the digital money market. Bitcoin, Ethereum and co. I had heard about that space years before, but now at this critical point in my life, it seemed that this might be the answer for me on how to invest my money. From that first crypto video, from that first crypto influencer, I was hooked. I learned about the main coins and soon about the many newer coins. I learned about wallets, exchanges and platforms. And I became consumed with the information about the space and spent hours each day online. At the time, I was employed at a beautiful nature park in the Austin area in Texas, where my job consisted of checking in people and telling them about the park and the park rules. And since during the week guest traffic was very slow, I had tons of time to follow my new crypto obsession on my laptop, which was, by the way, totally fine with my employer if there weren't any guests coming in the park. So I had started what I would call investing, following one crypto guru's advice after the other. Some of them advised to buy those newer coins on the market and not to buy Bitcoin, as BTC already had made its run and was, according to them, too expensive and also too slow in transaction time. So here I was desperate to invest my money with zero previous knowledge about financial markets in general or the digital market in specific, sitting day in and day out at my boring park job, trying to become the next crypto millionaire soon. I bought all kinds of what we would call shit coins at the time, coins that would never make it. I bought into platforms and I thought I knew what I was doing, but I really didn't know. Family and friends warned me about the many scams in that field, but just like an alcoholic addicted person cannot hear the warnings about alcohol's damaging consequences, I could not hear those warnings. And I also think I was indeed addicted to the space, to the adrenaline kicks, to the potentials. And so I continued to buy, sell and trade. I went through different strategies, and in the end, after some big losses I already had experienced throughout the year, I decided to just keep it simple. From the strategy of putting all of my eggs into different baskets, I went to the strategy of putting everything into one basket. Turns out it was the wrong basket. Long story short is that over the period of 1 year being in this market, I lost about 80% of the money I had. Had I just bought into Bitcoin, I would be financially independent now. But since I was acting out of the state of fear, the universe actually gave me what I had feared most. And I think life has a way of teaching us the lessons we need to learn. So my actions have been motivated out of fear of losing it all, so I lost it all.
Can't decide what's more polluted, your mouth or your brain. And once again, to the comfort of your screen return, surrounded by foes and friends. And who to say they, them? I'll go in your rhythm. Talk about doing the right thing while eating animals and driving cars. You reach for stars so you can tell them who they really are. Oh, you went so far for bags made of cotton with a push of a button. Now you've been called out, you've been summoned in, and now we can do better. And now you've been called out, you've been summoned in, and now we can do better. You're all set up to strike a pose, so hurry up, educate us on the side you chose, not to be disclosed. You got enough insight, so get all your facts right. Constellation in confusion, who shot the first bombshell? Mystery became a feeble fairy tale. Oh, you sing it well, and if you can read it, you're part of the conflict. And now you've been called out.
And as I was losing it all, my money and my hopes for the future, something interesting also began to happen. So as I had been finding myself in this new life in a crappy rental home, lost all of my money, no relationship, minimum wage job, soon to become an empty nest parent. Let's just say I wasn't in a great state of mind and kind of pessimistic about my future. So as all of this was taking place, I noticed that one thing was gone too, which was my fear of losing everything. The fear of losing everything was gone because I already had experienced the reality of it. I know it's ironic. So I had lost everything, but life somehow continued. No empty fridge, no homelessness. A modest life, yes, but no poverty. And slowly, very slowly, life started getting a little bit better with a better job and a nicer apartment and so on. So fear was my greatest teacher at that time. I think about my fears often. Where do they come from? How can we overcome them? I still have a list of fears left that are unresolved. Will I ever be able to touch a snake or a spider? And what about the fear of accidents or future toothaches? My fear of heights, I think I overcame that in the recent years. I believe now that it was not only my unbelievable naivety and stupidity at the time driving me to making one bad decision after the other in the cryptocurrency field, but it was also my destiny. Although I did beat myself up so much in the past years about the big losses, I had to come to forgive myself for it eventually and to understand the deeper meaning of why my journey right now was not the one of becoming a crypto millionaire. See, the state of mind I had been in the years prior to being divorced is best described as learned helplessness. I think that I had just been convinced of not being able to make it on my own, which is now in hindsight almost funny to me, as I'm now so very comfortable living on my own. So I had to go through all of this loss in order to transform. A well-known German brain researcher, Dr. Gerhard Hüther, once spoke about the question why Germans living in Germany commonly dislike change in government, change in society, and change in general. And he talked about the perceived loss of control that commonly comes with big changes in our lives. So wanting to be in control of things also at its roots originates from fear. Dr. Hüther then tried to trace back the German angst historically and actually arrived in his research at the 30-year war. If we imagine being in a war for 30 years, never feeling safe or comfortable, that is the lifespan of an entire generation, and those emotions will leave a genetic footprint that is being transferred from one generation to the next. So if you are, for example, an American with German heritage and you do feel limited in your life through certain fears, this might be worth being contemplated. Law of resonance. I strongly believe now that a big part of my life journey is to overcome these deep-seated fears by facing them one after the other. Had I approached the cryptocurrency space in 2017, 2018 with a mindset of abundance and a little bit more of a lightheartedness, without those constant fear of missing out moments, I might have made it. But then again, I had to walk my individual path, and at this point where I'm at now, the regrets are gone. Would I be happier with my future financially secured? Maybe. But who knows? I have, for example, also met some older people in their retirement years who had thought they had all of their ducks in a row, so to speak, but then came some unfortunate event and ruined all of their plans for the future and all of their financial security. And then they had to go back to some job in their lives. Life can be so unpredictable, and none of us knows what is in our future. In that sense, let's take care of the present, not the past, not too much the future. Yes, somewhat the future, but more the moment now. What is happiness anyway? Happiness primarily comes from a healthy, pain-free body and an unconfused mind. If you can claim those two things, you already have so much wealth. If a nice house with a beautiful backyard is to be in my future, I will gladly accept it. But for now, life is good as it is. There's a lightness about living a simple life. Not having too many possessions also means we don't have to worry about them, which gives us more time in life to do the things we enjoy doing. you.